Hello, everyone, and depending on where you are, a very good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome to episode 2 of our Flex and CRM integration webinar series. Joining us today is Anthony Uliano, founder and CTO of AMC Technology. A lot of you would remember him from the CRM integration session that we had during Signal 2018. We are very excited that he could join us today to talk on this topic in more detail. The second voice you'll be hearing today is mine. My name is Abhijit Mehta and I'm a product manager at Twilio. I'm responsible for building integrations with Flex. With introductions out of the way, let's get started. It's important we ask ourselves that what makes a contact center experience delightful, and we have 3 simple observations. It is important to serve customers in the way they want, that is the channels that they might want to reach out to you in. We need to recognize why they might be reaching out across all of the channels, and it is important that knowledgeable agents with right skills have access to that customer information. That is the context of the communication. But often in businesses, you would see that the system of business record or customer record and the system of information sits in siloed environments, which makes it very difficult to create contextual communication between the customer and the agent. Providing contextual communication to both customers and agents requires these 2 systems to be tightly integrated. Irrespective of which system is parent, it is extremely important that the 2 sit together, work together, and give right insights at the right times. And that is the only way to create an extremely delightful experience for your customers. Today, we are going to talk about one of the most popular CRM out there, that is Salesforce, as your system of customer record, and see how it can be integrated with your system of omni-channel communication, that is Flex. As a quick recap, Twilio Flex is a cloud communication center application platform that lets you instantly deploy a contextual omni-channel contact center out of the box. What is an application platform, you may be asking? The next evolution of enterprise software moves the contact center beyond the build versus buy decision. An application platform is not a SaaS application, nor is it a platform of APIs. This is a fundamentally different approach. You may be wondering, is it an application or is it a platform? And the answer is yes to both. It's really both. It is build and buy. It's a build solution for builders and a buy option for those who want to deploy a contact center out of the box. An application platform deploys like SaaS and integrates like a premise-based system without spending professional service dollars. It iterates like a web platform. Unlike premise-based systems, it lets you move extremely fast. You can put agents into pilot groups and do A/B testing, and they're able to move much faster than it was ever possible before. And it does all of that with an architecture that enables you to control the exact experience that you want. Twilio Flex is programmable at every layer. You can customize every element, whether it's your agent desktop, your channels, your workflow, or the routing logic, or which CRM you want to integrate. You might remember in episode 1 of this series, we talked about 3 approaches of integration. While we did a deeper dive on custom CRM integration in that webinar, today we will look at Salesforce from a native and partner integration perspective. That takes me to the native integration we are offering with Flex. I will not spend time on setup steps right now, which is relatively quite simple due to the architecture we have used in creating this integration. I will rather focus on showing you the features that are available on this native integration. As a quick note, native integration supports both Salesforce Classic and Lightning, and I'll be using Salesforce Lightning for my demonstrations, and Anthony will be using Salesforce Classic in the later demonstration today. Okay, so let's see this in action. And to show you the demonstration I have, I'll step out of this presentation and move to the Salesforce login screen. Before I log in, I want to show you a few things. My Salesforce profile has some of these information stored there. We have created a single sign-on using the runtime domain associated with the OpenCTI that we're going to integrate. And the single sign-on populates a few attributes on task router worker when the user gets created. Don't worry too much about the details on how to get this done. We will share information and our documentation has all these details. But what I want to show you right now before we begin is the current task router or Twilio Flex's routing engine setup doesn't know about the user I'm going to log into. So this is the situation where you have set up everything and your contact center agent logs in into the system for the first time. The expectation is that when this login happens, and I've received a second factor authentication, so I'm going to retrieve that on my mobile and put it here. That is 93581. Yeah, so I was saying as the user logs in into this system, because the single sign-on has been set up on Twilio Flex as well, the same user and their details would be used to create a worker on Twilio Flex, which means your Salesforce user and your Flex user or Flex agent will be aligned and one and the same. Let's do that. I'll go and choose a app that has already been set up with Twilio Flex as the OpenCTI. When it shows up, I'm going to attempt logging in by launching that window. And in the background now, what's happening is the single sign-on setup is now going to create this user on Twilio Flex as well. So while that happens, I'm going to go back to the task router screen and refresh my workers list. And my expectation is that there should be, there you go. So we have now a new user created, and I'm going to quickly dig down and show you the attributes that have been passed over to this new user. As we had set up there, you can see the full name has come in, a role of an agent has been set up, and the caller ID has been passed from the Salesforce user's phone number. This is very important because it helps you synchronize your logic across the two systems. Let's make this agent online. The very first call flow that I'm going to demonstrate is that of an incoming call. So I'm going to go ahead and make an incoming call from my mobile phone to my contact center phone number. It's happening right here from my mobile. Let me put it on speaker.
Want to talk to us about today.
So I'm going to put any random case ID. Speaker muted. Okay, so I passed a case ID which is random, it probably doesn't exist here. So when I accept an incoming call where someone has given a case number or not given anything for that matter, an agent will get an option to create a case out of that phone number. I'm going to cancel this call in this case and go ahead and make a call again. This time with the difference that I will actually pass in a valid case ID. Okay, so this time I passed in a case ID that's known to Salesforce, and when I accept this call now, you would see that the case ID is populated in front of the screen of that agent. This is very helpful for the agent because as soon as they receive the call, they see the relevant contextual information in front of them. Not only has it opened the case, it also started populating activities for that agent. So now you would see that there is a record here that says agent has started an inbound call. These activities get updated in real time as agent moves from their state. So if I complete this call and refresh this feed, you would see there will be an activity about completed. These tasks have some relevant information about the call, like how many seconds did the call last, and some other information in the current section. So that's about the incoming call. Let's go ahead and have a look at the next call flow, which is click to dial. This is quite important and common requirement for any contact center agent working through a CRM. There are phone numbers in the CRM that they might just want to click and get to a call on. So I'm going to go and click this phone number and expect an outbound call to my mobile. So all right, let's see. So yeah, there is now an incoming call on my mobile, and as I accept this, it has populated a search result associated with that phone number. I'm going to And while on the call, actually, you can obviously perform the normal call controls like putting the caller on hold, unhold. You can do things like transfer of call to any other agent or queues in the system. Okay, so going to disconnect this call right now and hang up. The last flow that I want to demonstrate is the case when an agent might be on multiple tasks. And to show that, I'm going to first send a text from my mobile and just say anything really. And now there should be a text task coming in. While that happens, I'm going to also go and make a phone call from a different soft phone I have here. And I'll put the same case ID that we had put in earlier.
Welcome to Flexperiments. Please enter the case that you want to talk to us about today.
And I'm going to put it on mute just to avoid any echoes. So now we have two tasks there. When I accept the first call as an agent, I have the case screen in front of me. And then while on the call, I might see incoming SMS, and I might want to take it depending on how complicated that conversation is. So if I take this one now, the expectation will be that it shows me something else. I don't want to see the case screen associated with the previous call. So as a feature in the native integration, we have context switching between the task. As an agent selects tasks differently, the screens automatically changes on the Salesforce screen. All right, so that's all the call flows I had to demonstrate today. Moving over to the slides. These are the call flows we just saw in the demonstration. I also wanted to share with you a bit on the timelines for making this integration GA. We have been working actively with our customers since the developer preview launch, enhancing it with every feedback we've gotten. And we will be moving this to GA Q1 of 2019. Some resources for you on the screen. The documentation has details on how to get started, where to get the integration from, and how to configure the integration to your requirements. Now, while the native integrations you just saw provides you with an easy and quick way to get started, a lot of times something additional might be required, especially if you have a heavily bespoke Salesforce instance. You can get bespoke integrations with our partner network. As you can see on our screen, these are our partner logos. We have Anthony, as I mentioned earlier, from AMC Technology with us to showcase Flex Salesforce integration in particular. So I'm going to hand it over to Anthony.
Yeah, thanks, Abhijit. Hi, this is Anthony Uliano. I'm the founder and CTO of AMC Technology. And today I'm going to be elaborating on what Abhijit's been talking about integrating business applications with Twilio Flex. And specifically, I'm going to be talking about the integration of Twilio Flex Task Router with Salesforce Omni-channel. So AMC Technology, or I founded AMC Technology in 1995, and our sole focus is CRM and contact center integration. And we've been solving integration issues for our customers for over 23 years. And so we look to improve the interactions that businesses have with their customers. And as they're making more investment in business applications and contact center platforms, they're looking to take advantage of the best capabilities in both of those systems. So as companies are investing in things like Twilio Flex and Salesforce, they're looking to take advantage of everything they have to offer, and that itself presents some integration challenges. So first off, work streams are coming from different sources. So you may be using Twilio Flex to handle your voice calls and SMS, and you may be looking for Salesforce to handle things like cases and leads. So these work streams are coming from different sources, and customers are really looking to manage agent availability and work item routing through a single platform in a more unified way. So customers are trying to provide agents with a seamless agent experience, so they don't need to be managing multiple interfaces in order to handle both telephony and non-telephony work streams. And so Salesforce Omni-channel doesn't manage telephony and SMS, And so that leaves agents, or that leaves customers with having to try to figure out the best way to handle the telephony items in addition to the non-telephony items like cases and leads. And so customers are looking to report across all these different work streams. So they're looking to improve their customer service by being able to monitor not only the calls that are coming in, but also the other work items that agents are handling. And so they need to find a way of being able to integrate all this together. So what we've done is we've combined Salesforce Omni-channel, Twilio Task Router, and DaVinci into an approach that helps to solve some of these problems. So the benefits of this approach is it allows you to manage telephony and non-telephony work streams through one agent experience. So the agent, whether they're working on a phone call or they're working on a case, can actually work through one single embedded pane of glass approach that's embedded within the Salesforce application. And so the agents are, you're able to define your agents in one place and define all of your routing rules across work streams. So you can treat cases similar and route them in a similar way as you do phone calls. And so this approach and using DaVinci allows you to handle also those environments that have a mix of both cloud and premise platforms. So if you're using like an Avaya in your premise for voice, and you want to combine that with Twilio Flex channels for digital, you're able to do that with DaVinci. And while doing that, because we're able to consolidate these different channels together from different platforms, we're able to also provide consolidated reporting across all those different work streams. So I'd like to talk a little bit more about each of these components. And so first, on Task Router, so Twilio Task Router is a routing and queuing mechanism that's provided by Twilio, and it's able to take work items from different sources, and it's able to take attributes and make decisions based on those attributes. So as work items are coming into Task Router, the attributes are examined and decisions are made not only on the best queue, but also the best agent to handle that work item. And so, for example, if you have support calls that are coming in from Spain, you may want to route those support calls to the support queue and then find an agent that, say, can speak Spanish. And so for more information on Task Router and how it integrates with Twilio Flex, I provided a link at the bottom of the screen for you to follow up on. So on the Salesforce side, you have a similar mechanism, and that's called Omni-channel. So Omni-channel is also a routing and queuing engine that's embedded within Salesforce. And the difference is that Omni-channel allows you to take Salesforce objects like cases and leads and even custom objects, and it allows you to route those through various queues that you define to the right agent. And so you define your queues in Salesforce, you assign agents to those queues, and then as work is coming in, as these work items are coming in, you're able to make routing decisions and route that work to the best available agent. So in this approach, I mean, both Twilio Task Router and Salesforce Omni-channel are both really incredible routing and queuing platforms, but they don't talk to one another. And so that leaves customers to either have to pick one or the other, or their agents have to use two different user interfaces. So that's really where DaVinci comes in. And so also more information on Omni-channel and the external routing mechanism. You can find more information about that at the link at the bottom of the page. So DaVinci is where we bring all this together and how we solve the integration issue between Twilio Flex and Omni-channel, Salesforce Omni-channel. So DaVinci plays two roles. The first role is it provides that embedded agent experience. So it takes channels and it takes applications from various platforms and combines that together for a single embedded experience for the agent. So we support Twilio Flex, but we also support other premise communication platforms like Avaya, Cisco, and Aspect, and also other cloud communication platforms in addition to Twilio Flex. And we also support various business applications. So in this demo, in today's demonstration, we're talking about Salesforce, but AMC also supports Dynamics, SAP, ServiceNow, and Zendesk. And so what DaVinci Agent does is it takes these applications from these various platforms, and it allows you to configure the agent experience that you want your agents to have. So you're able to take, say, premise telephony from, say, Cisco or Avaya, and you're able then to combine that with, say, digital channels like SMS from Twilio Flex, and provide a seamless single pane of glass that's embedded inside of Salesforce. So in addition to the agent experience side of DaVinci, DaVinci also plays an integration role. So it connects, it's what connects on the back end TaskRouter with Salesforce Omni-channel. And so in the case specifically, on the example of a case being routed, the case is submitted by a user, and that could happen via email to case for Salesforce, or even logging a case through a portal. As a user submits the case, it arrives in Salesforce, and Salesforce immediately notifies DaVinci. When DaVinci gets the notification, it queries Salesforce for additional information about the case, and it then takes those attributes and it delivers them to TaskRouter. And TaskRouter is then used to make a decision on the best queue and the best agent to handle that. It hands that work assignment back to DaVinci, and DaVinci then is able to tell Salesforce that the work item that you have, this case, needs to be routed to this particular agent. And that work item is then presented in Salesforce through the DaVinci toolbar to that right agent. And so in today's demonstration, we're going to be showing you first how a phone call gets routed from Twilio through TaskRouter and then presented to the agent within Salesforce. And then we want to show you that more complex example where we route a case through Salesforce through TaskRouter and then present that case also to the agent in Salesforce. So I've enlisted the help of a colleague. His name is Raj, and he's going to be driving the keyboard while I speak to it. So I'm going to change the presenter to him so we can see the demo. Great, thanks, Raj. So as you see here, we're looking at Twilio's TaskRouter screen, and he's going to navigate to tasks. And the first thing that I wanted to show was how a call would appear that originates into Twilio Flex, and how that is then shown inside of Salesforce. So as you can see, a task has arrived, and it's a voice call, and that is currently pending an assignment. And so that's been queued up into TaskRouter, waiting for an available agent. So if we go over to Salesforce, we can see from the agent perspective how this looks. So right now, what you're looking at is a Salesforce screen, and our toolbar, DaVinci Agent Toolbar, is located in the bottom right. And so as Abhijit has shown this in Lightning mode, we're showing you this in Classic mode, but the DaVinci agent can be supported in either one. And so right now, if Raj were to go available in our toolbar, which means he's available to take a call, you'll see immediately that this call gets routed to Raj, and you see the DaVinci agent not only shows the call coming in, but it also populates the main window in Salesforce with more detailed contact information about the caller. And so at this point, Raj is able to interact with this customer and do whatever he needs to do inside of Salesforce or inside of the toolbar as well. He can even create activities within the DaVinci agent toolbar that gets pushed to this contact record. And so this is a really simple example of a call coming in and from TaskRouter into Salesforce. And in this next example, I'd like to show you how a case gets routed as well. So if we go back to TaskRouter, we're going to wait for a case to arrive. And when that happens, then we'll walk you through the process of how that case gets routed. So you can see just a second ago, a case has come in, and if we drill into the details of that case, of that task, you'll see that it's a case that has been routed from Salesforce. And so TaskRouter can now take all of these attributes and use them to make a decision on the best available agent to route this to. And so in this case, TaskRouter has determined that the best agent is Raj, and currently it's in a pending mode, as you can see below, waiting for Raj to accept or reject this. So from TaskRouter's perspective, It's waiting for this work item to actually be accepted within Salesforce. So if we go back to Salesforce now, we'll see this from the agent experience. So as you can see, the case is currently presented in the DaVinci agent toolbar, and it's giving Raj the choice to either accept or reject that work item. So he can go ahead and accept that. And so what's happening now is not only is Twilio Task Router being made aware that Raj has accepted this work item and it's keeping track of that metric, but the case also is the details of the case are also showing up in Salesforce, and we're also keeping Salesforce Omni-channel in sync as well. So if Raj navigates to Salesforce to Omni-channel dashboard, to Omni Supervisor, you'll see that Omni Supervisor is also showing that Raj is actively working on this case. So this mechanism allows you to keep both Task Router, Twilio Flex Task Router, and Salesforce Omni-channel in sync. And so if he ends his activity on this case through the DaVinci agent, you'll then see that Omni-channel reflects that he's no longer working on that. Task Router is also reflecting that. And so really the benefit of this is not only are we providing the seamless agent experience, so Raj was able to take phone calls and cases and obviously other work items directly within this single pane of glass through one interface, not having to juggle between multiple interfaces. But we're also taking all of these channel metrics and agent metrics, and we're also consolidating all of those metrics within Salesforce. So if we go over to the omnichannel reporting, you'll see where we've built a sample dashboard where we're able to collect information, and you can see here that we're tracking cases by agent, leads by agent, and calls by agent. And so all of this data is not only available within Twilio and Task Router, but it's also available within Omnichannel as well. So you could do some really detailed agent and channel metrics reporting within Salesforce or Twilio. So that concludes our demo, and Raj, I appreciate your help. Thank you. So hopefully, as I've shown in the demonstration, the benefit of linking Task Router, Twilio Flex Task Router, and Salesforce Omnichannel is that customers can leverage the best of both capabilities across those platforms. So you can leverage all of the capabilities of Twilio Flex, including Task Router, and also all of the abilities, all the capabilities that come with Salesforce and Omnichannel. And you're able to leverage all of those benefits from those platforms while still delivering a blended agent experience. So the agent doesn't have to juggle multiple, they don't have to juggle multiple user interfaces. They're able to use one user interface and provide, and both working on telephony and non-telephony work streams. So that not only improves the agent experience, but it also improves the customer experience. And ultimately, what this approach does is it gives companies centralized control over their agent availability, their workstream routing, and gives them the ability to monitor all of that in a consolidated way. And so I've authored a blog on this topic as well, and Twilio has hosted it for me, and you can see the link at the bottom of the screen if you want to find out more. So then lastly, AMC is going to continue with our deep dive series. And so I want to thank Twilio for co-hosting this webinar with us on this topic of Salesforce and Twilio Flex integration. We're going to be continuing over the next couple of weeks with a variety of other topics, of deep dive topics. We'll be exploring topics within Dynamics, within SAP, ServiceNow, and Zendesk. And so I welcome you to join any of these other topics that might be of interest to you. You can find out more information and register for any of these things or any of these webinars at the link provided below. And so we're going to take a moment and start to take your questions. And so if you give us just a few minutes, you can start to log your questions, and we're going to go over to a Q&A mode. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, Anthony, and thanks for everyone. Um, Thanks everyone for listening in. We have received some questions, and we are going to answer them one by one in the permitted time. So the first question is actually for you, Anthony, and it's probably one of the anticipated ones. The question is, the UI that we saw in DaVinci doesn't look like Flex. So can you explain how does DaVinci integrate with Twilio Flex?
Oh, sure. I'd be happy to, Abhijit. Yeah, so DaVinci integrates with Twilio Flex on two levels. The first level is we talk to Twilio Flex programmable UI, that layer, so we can build a custom UI component using React, and that custom UI is necessary because we're embedding it into each of those CRM applications, and we want it to have the look and feel of each application. And then the other way that we integrate in with Flex is through DaVinci, is talking to the backend APIs of TaskRouter for the routing of Salesforce to TaskRouter.
Awesome, thank you, Anthony. The second question that I have here is actually either of us can give a go, but I'll give a first go and then you can add on top of it. So the question is, when should a customer use native and when should one go for or explore partner integration? So my take on it is that we built native integration with a view and consideration of more common use cases and call flows that are applicable widely. While we continue to enrich this feature set, the guiding principles will always be the commonality on the standard Salesforce implementation. We do appreciate that a lot of companies have bespoke Salesforce configuration, also requiring bespoke Flex Salesforce integration, and potentially having use cases beyond what is supported natively. Our rich partner ecosystem fits perfectly in this equation and can help you in building your custom requirements either through a product like DaVinci or even a custom build as an SI. This would have probably been clear in demonstration from the routing of Salesforce objects and integration with Salesforce Omni, which is not supported in the native integration. Hopefully that answers the question. The next question is actually kind of related. This was sent during the former section, so I'll take a go on it. The question is from Laura, asking whether we can use this with contacts or leads, and is it possible to use this with a person who is stored as a case only and not as a contact or lead? So thanks, Laura. I think that's a great question. Basically, the object that our integration should work with, and i.e., which object to pop up, is configurable. This configuration sits in the soft phone layout. To answer your specific question, yes, you can define in your soft phone layout settings while you set up the integration that it searches only for cases based on the incoming phone number. The documentation has a description on how to do this. The next question is for you, Anthony, and the question is, who is routing the case? Is it Twilio or is it Salesforce?
Yeah, so in what we demonstrated, it's Twilio Flex, it's TaskRouter that's routing the case. Salesforce is just responsible for passing the case. We're utilizing a component within Salesforce, and it's called the external routing API of Salesforce. And so that's really turning over the routing capacity, the routing mechanism to an external source. So in this case, we've taken the external routing API and we've linked it with TaskRouter. TaskRouter is the one that's actually doing the routing. It's determining the best queue and the best agent. And all it's doing is handing back that agent assignment and giving that back to Omni-channel. And so it's really TaskRouter that's doing the routing.
Got it. Thanks, Anthony. I guess a couple of questions. The next ones are for you as well. Okay. So I'm going to read. This question is from Josh. Does DaVinci support delivery of SMS conversations to agents in Salesforce via Omni-channel? And if so, is that a standard capability of the connector, or does it require additional engineering?
Yeah, so support of SMS is a part of the standard offering of DaVinci and the DaVinci app for Twilio Flex. And so you can combine that with also a live agent that exists within Salesforce. So yeah, but SMS, any of the channels that Twilio Flex supports are also natively supported in the DaVinci app for Twilio Flex.
Great. Thank you. The next one is for you as well. It says, is it possible through AMC integration of Salesforce and Twilio Flex to create work streams that incorporate speed dialer telephony tools such as Five9? This is from Angelo.
Yeah, so it is possible with DaVinci. The way that it's architected is you can take applications from various providers and you can combine those into whatever sort of user flow that you want. So yes, you can combine. We don't today offer a DaVinci app for Five9, but the concept, yes. I mean, we're happy to explore that, but yes, but functionally, you can combine apps from different providers into a user experience.
Cool, thank you. All right, so the next question in the list is, so it's a question for you as well, actually. The Twilio team showed how the standard SFDC Flex integration saves event history. How does DaVinci handle event history in Salesforce?
Yeah, so what DaVinci is doing is it's talking through the OpenCTI interface that Salesforce provides, and so as you are navigating, as calls or SMS or work items are presented in the DaVinci agent, those activities are being logged in Salesforce, and you could associate those activities with the contact or the lead. You can also do it with a regarding, so you could set it on the case or opportunity, or even custom objects. So we are tracking all of the event history, all of the activities in Salesforce.
Got it. Thank you. The next question I have is actually for me. The question is, can I choose Sugar CRM to integrate with Twilio Flex instead? Or Salesforce is the only system that works with Twilio Flex? And that's a great question. The answer is yes, you can integrate any CRM with Twilio Flex. Obviously, this has to be in the perimeter of any restrictions by the CRM. And when I say restrictions, this is mainly around whether it will be allowed to be put in an iframe or whether it asks or recommends to put Flex in an iframe. Both those flavors are possible. I would definitely recommend you have a look at the episode 1 of this webinar series, which actually talks about a custom or a non-Salesforce CRM integration. And if we can share a link with you on the chat for that CRM webinar. Okay, the next question is probably again for me. Does Flex GA Salesforce integration use Salesforce OpenCTI? Question from Dana. So yes, the answer is yes, the integration uses OpenCTI from Salesforce. Okay. The next question is for you, Anthony. This is around DaVinci pricing. So could you share, probably there are a couple of questions around this. Could you share some details on how is DaVinci priced?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So DaVinci is priced on a per agent per month basis. The list price right now is $35 per agent per month, but there's some volume discounts that are available as well.
Got it. The next question is from Paul. Does this work in Lightning Service Console? Does the state sync with Omni-channel present status? This question was asked during my section, so I will address it from that perspective. But I think this question can be equally applicable for Anthony, so we'll get his views as well. Yes, the Salesforce integration that we showed, the native integration, works in Lightning Service Console. It also works in Classic Console. The native integration, however, does not support integration with Omni-channel, Salesforce Omni-channel, I mean. But this is where our partner network comes in, and the demonstration you saw later on would have probably clarified that. Anthony, do you want to add to this?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So the DaVinci agent, it supports both Lightning Service Console and Classic, and yes, we definitely keep the state synced between the DaVinci agent and Omni-channel, and so we're taking all of those stats, including agent presence. So if you go available or unavailable in the Omni-channel widget as well, we also synchronize that state. So you have a lot of flexibility in utilizing the DaVinci agent and Omni-channel, and that's so we can consolidate all of that reporting and present that in a cohesive way across all these different work streams.
Awesome, thank you. So these are great questions, and we have a bunch of other questions as well, but we've reached the scheduled end of the time for this webinar. So unfortunately, we'll have to stop the questionnaire right now, but we'll be happy to answer any further questions or any unanswered question later on if you want to reach out to us. Thanks everyone for joining us today. It was great to have you and answer all these questions, and hopefully you found something useful for yourselves. Have a good day. Bye bye. Thank you,
Everyone. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers.